Welcome everyone. Hello to you all. My name is Oliver Haines, and for the past 10 years I've been studying mediumship and the concept of surviving physical death, getting to know more and more about the subject. Increasingly, in our turbulent, uncertain and disordered world, people are looking for answers to life's big questions, and there is really no bigger one than this, is there? Up to the passing of Pam, my dear wife for 30 years, from an aggressive cancer in February 2014, I had remained open-minded and yet never had any concrete evidence of our survival after death. Eventually, having nothing to lose, I thought, what the hell? And sought out an experienced professional medium in the West Midlands area of the UK from his website. I was determined to know more and progressed to regular communication with Pam and my other close relatives through dozens of evidential mediums. Since then, I've been inspired to research and write 2 Amazon books on the afterlife and mediumship, to both raise our understanding and bring hope, upliftment and inspiration to those suffering bereavement or indeed facing death themselves. For everyone, there is far more to come. We can enjoy our lives much more if we do not fear death, the unspeakable. The certainty that we're going to enjoy a heavenly life, free of all suffering, mortality and needs, can make such a huge difference to us, physically and mentally, in the here and now. So, in this series of podcasts, Conversations on Mediumship and the Spirit World, I shall be talking to mediums on the vast subject of the afterlife, the heaven which we shall all ultimately be entering. We have no choice in the matter. Coming from many backgrounds, mediums work as the vital communication bridge between the spirit realm and the physical world. And the fulfillment of that great mission is of incalculable value to both sides. The consciousness of our past loved ones in spirit remains exactly the same as when we knew them on the physical plane. Yet they are now without a body or voice box, instead communicating telepathically across both worlds via thought as an energy rather than via sound. Given the rare opportunity, spirit people can also use the voice box of mediums to articulate their thoughts and memories. So what is mediumship all about then? Do join me on my exciting voyage of discovery, and let's find out together from the ones who can tell us, the mediums themselves. So what's mediumship all about then? Today I'm going to ask Kevin McGuire from Telford, UK, who's in his early 50s and has been a practicing medium for 30 years. As an athlete too, he's played rugby at a high level and been an amateur shot put champion. In his mediumship, Kevin works from public platforms, as well as providing readings, either face-to-face or remotely. He's also a Japanese Reiki master healer, serving as a channel for energy from the spirit world to carry out healing. Kevin, a very warm welcome.
Good morning, Oliver.
Good morning. Now, what is a spirit exactly, and how do spirit people communicate with you?
There's various answers to that question, Oliver, but I see them just like me and you, yeah? And you could say it was a mind, a spirit mind, that comes to me and tells me things about people and everything, yeah? Yes. So basically their spirit has left the body, yes, and it's gone on to another life, a life, you know, for the learning like it does here, but they've just gone on to another level of consciousness to evolve more as a spirit.
Do you feel they've, in a sense, gone home?
Yeah, because the spirit will say this down here is the playground to what we learn.
Yes.
Yeah, and the spirit world is the adult world.
Yes.
Yeah, so they could have been reincarnated so many times in different lives, but they've chose to come back to the spirit realms to help mankind or whatever their role is.
So their purpose here...
Their purpose is to help mankind.
Yes.
Or try and help mankind.
Yes.
To enlighten them. Maybe change their ways and the thought, how they perceive life.
Yes.
And as you know yourself, life can be very hard.
Yes.
So the spirit come back to help us out of love. Yeah, that's the reason why they come back. It's all love. They don't have to do it. They choose to do it.
That's right.
Yeah, and they love people. You know, so they will. It's like anybody, isn't it? You know, if you have a child, you know, you want the best for that child. And it's the same with the spirit realms.
So the consciousness lives on.
Yeah.
And you're communicating with people they haven't got a body anymore, but the consciousness remains the same as it did.
It's a thought process. Everything's done by thought in the spirit realms.
That's right.
So there's no hidden agendas. Everything's known. You know, so that's how I pick up the information, because they tell me things on people that I don't know every walk of life, and I just know things, you know, through my spirit guides as well. Yes. And I help people as best I can.
The path that you've taken in terms of your development and in terms of how you've honed your skills. Could you tell us about that?
I've always had the gift since I was a child.
Yes.
And I used to talk to spirit, and they used to come to me at night, and people may wonder why they come at night. It's because the mind is relaxed at night.
Yes.
And as a human being at night, you normally want to go to sleep. So that's when it's most receptive for the spirit realms to come to you, because you're relaxed.
Yes.
And but it's not an easy path being a medium. You know, there's a lot of trials and tribulations, and there's a lot of pain normally that opens you up to the spirit realms.
Yes.
Because when you go for a lot of trauma, for some reason it lets out this energy where they come to you. You know, it's almost like they attract you to. It's almost like that. It's not life breaks you sometimes to come in. And then they change the way you are. Or life changes the way you are. Because sometimes you're not ready for the spirit work until you've been molded. It's almost like a piece of metal. You know, you get a rough piece of metal in the foundry, and then you shape it to what you want.
Yeah, sure.
And it's the same with a medium. They need to shape him or her to do the work, because you have to be very sensitive to change and vibration, but you also have to have compassion for people. If you've got no compassion,
empathy,
then you can't work.
That's right. So you're known as a medium for being very down to earth and telling things as they are. Because everybody works differently. But I in my life it's been very up and down, and it's been very hard. So I always think, tell me the truth, no matter how hard it is. Just tell me the truth, then we can deal with something. Then we can, you know, work around it. Or, you know, if you don't know the full facts, then you can't move forward. It's not everybody's way, but it's my way. And, you know, I try and keep it as simple as possible with people. Because the more you complicate things, the worse it is for people. Because the brain, everyday people's brains can't comprehend the spirit realms unless you've been moulded to that way of thinking. You're a clairsentient medium.
I feel spirit,
so you feel all the aches and pains, disabilities of that spirit coming through, how they've been in their life. But this is to enable you to find the right person in the audience, to identify them.
the spirit realms change how you work over a period.
Yes,
it's
yes,
like
sure.
you master one level, then you go to another level,
sure.
and it can cause confusion. But I've always been very intuitive to the person that I have to work with.
Yes, okay.
Some mediums will build a picture up in the mind and tell the audience, you know, like say there's a lady and she's 5'9", or you know, but I don't do any of that. I just go straight to the source, the person, and I just tell them what I've got, you know, the feelings I'm feeling, and then I'll build a picture from there.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I don't always say, you know, I've got your Aunt Mabel here.
No.
You know, but to start with, I'll just, on a psychic level first, I just feel the aura, you know, the energy around them, and then I just bring in the spirits.
Could you tell us a bit more what happens at a platform demonstration of mediumship, where the medium gives evidence to people in the audience about surviving death?
Yeah.
And
first you open up with prayer.
Yes.
To raise the vibrations to the spirit realms.
Yes.
Because as a medium, you meet in the middle.
Yes.
Because the spirit on a higher vibration, so you raise your vibration and they lower their vibration to meet in the middle.
Okay.
And that's when, you know, but you give prayer and ask for protection, because you just don't know what's around in the ether, you know, because they're not all good spirits, as they're not all good people in life.
Okay.
You know, so you have to have protection, but protection for the audience as well. And then I have a guide who puts them in line, basically, you know, the different spirits, because there's so many spirits want to come through. Because imagine if you're the light and they just want to come to the light, so you have to put them in order. The spirit guides, like your gatekeeper or something, has to put them, all your spirit guides have to put them in, you know, because if they came 100 at a time, I wouldn't be able to talk to them.
No.
You know, so they have to just put them in line one at a time.
So this is interesting. Your guide from the spirit world.
I've got a few guides. I don't know who they are all the time, but my grandfather, which was a regimental sergeant major, he helps to keep the spirits in line and to bring them forward to me.
So in an audience, there might be 40 or 50 people, for instance.
Yeah, but they could have like 5 or more people around them.
Yes,
or less.
Indeed. So your guide prioritises.
Yeah.
You might find someone, for instance, whose child may be committed suicide. Or there's been frequently a motorbike accident or something. And they, because it's so raw and so new, they will have a priority.
You have to work with the spirit. The spirit you don't always know as the medium, you know, why they're coming through as such, but you've just got to be guided by the spirit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean your guides, because they know better than you. So if they say go there and tell them this, then you do as you're told.
Yes.
You know, but but in love, you know, they do it to help you, but also to help the people in the audience.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know from one day to the next, if I'm on platform, what's going to come through.
No, sure.
You know, and it baffles me sometimes. You know, and. It's a very powerful gift, and that's why you have to learn it, because you can't just go around telling people everything. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not, they can't cope with it, a lot of people.
No, a lot of people come along just to be reassured that their loved ones are okay. They've made a transition to the spirit world, and they're now happy.
See, we don't know as the medium. You're the mouthpiece.
Yeah, sure.
So you don't know what that message is going to do for the person.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You know, you could have people come to you and say, "You've changed my life," and I'll say, "Well, I haven't changed your life." Yeah. Yes, I'm a part of that, but it's the spirit realms that have changed your life, because you've taken on the messages that they've offered you.
Yes.
You know, but as a medium, you don't always see your work. It's almost like throwing a pebble in a pond, isn't it? Had a ripple effect. Yeah. By just, you know, saying a few words can change that person's outlook on life.
That's right. Past generations of our families are around us all the time.
Yeah.
They live in the spirit world which is, it's not a separate place. It is in fact around us now, but it's a different vibrational frequency.
It's almost, as I see it, it's almost like, say you've got a radio.
Yeah, sure.
And you tune into it. Mediums are tuned to it all the time. And yes, they can turn it on and off, but it's almost like it's a parallel universe with myself, because I see the spirit realms around me. But I've always seen it, so it's just natural to me. You know, there's no heaven and hell as such. It's just levels, and I can attune myself to the spirit frequency.
So not all mediums can see spirit.
No.
Some do, some don't, but you can.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the gift I had since I was a child.
In terms of names, what do you regard as the difference between a ghost and a spirit?
Some people say they're the same, and others say a ghost is a manifestation of events that have happened in a house over a period of time. So, say if there'd been a murder or something hundreds of years ago, it imprints in time, and it can't get removed. It's just there in the ether. It's a part of the building, or a part of the building, and that. And
clearly, you can't communicate with a ghost because it's like a tape recording on the ether. But you can with a spirit, which is what you do all the time. So that's
a ghost to me is just an imprint of happenings that have happened.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some time ago. But a spirit is a living entity.
That's right, and
it's an energy.
Anybody who isn't a medium, or member of the public, can see ghosts.
Yeah.
In castles and this sort of thing. From, as you say, centuries ago. What is the difference between a psychic and a medium? Right. So it is said that all mediums are psychics. But not all psychics are mediums. So perhaps the image of a psychic is a lady with big earrings, headscarf, got a booth at the end of a pier, and tells you fortunes, So, do you want to comment on that?
To start with, I use my psychic ability just to feel around a person's aura.
Okay.
And then once I've felt around the aura, I have little clues. And I tap into the energy, and then when the energy builds up, the spirit realms come to me, of their family, their loved ones, and then I work with the people. But psychically, you can tell, say you're a healer, you can tell psychically around their aura what's wrong with a person. So if they got bad knees, or they can't breathe very well, or chest pains, or anything like that, you can tap into their aura that's around them. Remember the old advert, the Redibrecht man?
Oh yes.
Remember
that's
that
right,
big glow around them?
There was a glow.
Yeah. And it's almost like that, but I don't see colours like some mediums do around people. But what I do, I feel what's wrong with a person. So if it's mental turmoil or anything like that, I can pick up psychically on the aura. And then once I've made that connection with the person, the link, the energies, the spirit will come through, and then I work with the spirit people to give them information.
So looking for messages, signs. What sort of things should we notice, take heed of?
And some people say, if you see a feather, it's the angels around you. But you can have smells of somebody that's passed on. Like a grandfather that used to smoke a pipe or something like that. You can have perfume smells, from people, your nan, your loved ones, ladies that was in the spirit realms. There's various ways, but you can also have intuition as well, knowing that there's somebody watching you. And we dismiss a lot of it because I think a lot of it's fear-based. Because people see these things like The Exorcist or these horror movies, and they just perceive that the spirit realms are like that. And it isn't. Spirit worlds is all love, and they come back, you know, from the spirit realms to help people in life,
Yes.
to make a better and happier life,
Yes.
but also to help people as well. You know, so if you've gone through a lot of turmoil, then hopefully, you know, through progression and compassion, that you help other people that are going through similar things to yourself. You know, so it's all part of growth, spiritual growth, and to help your fellow man, or that's what it should be about. And it's not for making money or anything like that. It's about strengthening one another.
It's uncanny how we can sometimes foresee future events.
Yeah.
And we get a premonition of danger.
Yeah.
We talk about our guardian angel,
Yeah.
who stops us stepping into the road when there's a vehicle coming along that isn't going to stop. Can you tell us more about this whole subject?
Guardian angels. A lot of spirits can be guardian angels. It could be a loved one, grandfather, grandmother.
Yes.
You know, to come back to help you on your spiritual path. You could have had a road accident and the spirit will stopped it. It's because it's not meant to be in your path. You know, it's like, you know, some people say, oh, I should have died that day, or anything, you know, something like that. If you're not meant to die, you won't die. You know, say if you're going through a turbulent time in your life and you think to yourself, I've had enough and I want to commit suicide. But, you know, say, you know, you might cut your wrists or you might take tablets or whatever, but somebody finds you because it's not on your path for you to pass that way. You know, and sometimes you have to go through these dilemmas in life to make you stronger and more compassionate for people. You know, some people don't learn, they go around in circles all the time. But somebody who does learn will go forward to help other people less fortunate than themselves.
The point is as well that you continue your knowledge and your career in the spirit world.
Yeah.
So if you were a doctor, a therapist, you know, whatever it might be, you then continue that.
What they have told me is, they say if you're a doctor on this side and you want to go forward, like you just said, to do things, you know, with doctorate and that, you know, but you can also change as well. You can do different things. As I'm not in the spirit realms, I don't know always the ins and outs of the spirit life. Because it's almost like a need-to-know basis, the spirit. It's, you know, they give you a little bit and then they just watch and see what you do with that little bit of knowledge. Yeah. You know, because I don't feel... Not every medium knows everything about the spirit realms because we're not in the spirit realms as such. We work with the spirit, but maybe we can't comprehend as mediums the afterlife, you know, the full afterlife. Or maybe they just don't want to tell us. It's like everything, you have to earn the knowledge, don't you?
Do you have any comments on past lives and finding out about your past lives? What I find interesting is that a regression psychotherapist can find out about your past lives because they're actually in your subconscious. I'm not an authority on past lives. No.
I've been regressed once, just a previous past life, and it did make some bearing to my life now. Yeah, because sometimes when we haven't fulfilled something in the previous life, you bring it onto the life on this earth now. You know, so say you was a tyrant or something like that, you come back on this life hopefully to progress to be a better in the spirit. Yeah, but there's loads of past lives. I like I said, I'm not an expert on past lives. You could have lived so many times, you know. You could have had various past lives, but if you're not an authority on it, you have to do your research on it. So I can't really comment much on the past lives because I don't know a great deal about it.
How do you see your future development in terms of there are different forms of mediumship?
Yeah.
What you do very successfully is evidential mediumship, providing evidence. There are other forms like trance mediumship, etc. How do you see your own path?
Obviously, they only show me a little bit, and as long as I work for the spirit realms, and I can be the best instrument for the spirit realms I can be in my development, then that's all that I wish for. So maybe working further afield and bigger audiences, not for fame or anything like that, but just to spread the word and to help people. That's really what I want to do. But it also helps me as well on my progression, because I haven't had an easy life. So it's like me giving back to society, and it also helps me to grow as well as a spiritual being. But yes, just helping more people. Yeah, because it's an amazing gift and it's an amazing life. It's changed my life totally.
What would you recommend to people watching this video in terms of finding out themselves about mediumship and the spirit world?
Just go to your local spiritualist church. It might not be for them and they might find different ways of doing it, but just be open-minded and just go to a spiritualist church if they want information, safe information from the spirit realms. Don't use things like Ouija boards or anything like that, Just go to a proper, reputable spiritualist church.
So we are here in this life to learn lessons. It's sometimes said that if you don't learn the lesson in this life, then you're encouraged to have another life. Which in fact then you revisit the same thing.
Well, it's like behaviour, isn't it? Some people seem to stay in the same behaviour and they can't seem to break the pattern. And I suppose as a spirit as well, if they keep doing the same mistakes, then they're never going to progress.
So your relationship with the spirit world, you are fed a certain amount of information, so as you go along.
See, what people don't realise is mediumship is only to prove the past. But some mediums can give a bit of fortune. Say if an individual's going through a lot of pain and stress and everything in life, the spirit world will just give you from point A to point B just to get you over that hurdle.
Are you restricted in what you can say? You don't give information on health, for instance. You don't talk about...
No, because I'm not a doctor.
No.
But they can advise you, maybe just... You have to be careful, if you say go to the doctors. You can advise that. But you still have to be careful with that as well, because people worry. People can make themselves ill. But all you just say in a light way, just, I think you should maybe just get a checkup just to see how things are,
That's right.
You don't actually give them, even if you do pick up something that they're not meant to know, you just don't tell them unless the spirit will want you to tell them.
How do you see the future developments in terms of mediumship? It seems that in the UK it's very different to the United States, for instance, where it's much more mainstream. In Britain, if you go back 50 years, there was an awful lot of tea leaf reading and crystal ball gazing and things like this.
It's all about progression, isn't it? It's
really,
like the turn of the century with ectoplasm coming out of mediums and that.
Yes, that's right.
That of like physical mediumship, which took a lot of toll on the body. So it's advanced from that. But what I hope for mediumship, and there is more enlightened beings coming into the world now, because it's progressed more. But what I don't agree with is how, say, the younger generation are instant mediums. They might do a course of 12 weeks or whatever, then they're an instant medium. And I don't believe in that. I know we get some very gifted individuals and that but you have to sit with spirit, you have to sit in a group and build the energies up, have a good power base behind you. You have to learn, and I don't feel it's learned in 5 minutes. Because what happens, say if a medium thinks he's ready within a year, something will happen and it'll knock him off his pedestal. And that means that medium is wasted because they give up on it. They hit a hurdle, they haven't got the strength or the knowledge behind them, and that's when they just crumble. And I think a lot of young people want instant success in it, which isn't about success, it's not about fame, you know, and I think people get into it in the wrong way. I think the person should have been through things in his life, him or her, and be very compassionate towards people, and wanting to help is a key factor in it.
It's what you can do for people.
Yeah.
It's the generosity you can show, which strengthens the spirit within.
But it also what it does for you as well as an individual, not monetary or anything like that, but how it helps you grow as well. Because you feel a part of the community, you feel like you're needed in this life. You know, because sometimes it can be a thankless task being a medium. Because it isn't an easy path. You have to be a strong individual and you have to take a lot of knocks, because there's a lot of skeptics out there and they'll try and prove that what you're saying is a load of rubbish, you know, and you have to believe in what you've learned, you know, and you have to have faith and trust in the spirit realms. It's not an easy road to take, you know. I didn't want it to start with because it was a lot of responsibility, and I don't feel I was mature enough to cope with it. But I just thought, well, I can't get out of it because this is my life, you know, and they're there and they want to work with me. So how can you, say you see somebody in turmoil or pain, how as you as a medium just walk past somebody and say, well, I'm not telling them if a loved one comes through? How can you do it? You can't, can you? So they had me on that way, the spirit realms did, you know what I mean? They almost put me into the role.
When you stand on a platform,
Yeah.
You have an opportunity. You spoke earlier about giving a prayer.
Yeah.
You also have an opportunity to deliver some philosophy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, pick out, you know, some spiritual subject or something. Very often you don't prepare these things. You just stand there and you're inspired by spirit. They tell you more or less what to say.
But also it's what
which is interesting, isn't it?
It's also what you perceive life as well, you know, your everyday life. You know, everything's spiritual in a way. You know, you can make something small just by seeing a bird into a spiritual, you know, talk. Yeah. You know, it's your observations of life, isn't it? I don't look in no books or anything because this is to do with me, my life. Yeah. And yes, spirit give you inspiration and that, but a lot of it I try and tend to what I see and my progression around people, you know, and try and put it in everyday life for other people to grasp.
There's a sort of conflict really between spiritualism and materialism.
Yeah.
Because as we know,
why can't you have the both?
Because when you pass, when you make a transition, you can't take the things with you, can you?
I mean, in a sense, if you put God or whatever you want to call it, God's spirit first, and you work through the goodness, and why can't you have the material things, but in the Lord's name, yeah? If you want to put it that way, or the Great Spirit's way.
Yeah.
When, like mediums, they get frustrated the further they go up. Yeah, it's like different levels. And then they don't hear from spirit for a time, but they don't realise that they're being rested. So they get frustrated. Because it's all about evolution, isn't it? It's just progression all the time. I know people that have worked for spirit for 30, 40 years and they get very frustrated because they think the spirit world have left them. And I say to them, it's not a case of leaving you, but you know all the basics. So why do you have to be reassured by spirit all the time when you know that they're there with you?
In your long career, you've helped many, many people. You know, and it's nice to get feedback from people. You know, which I'm sure you do.
You could, you couldn't maybe like 10 years ago, you might have talked to somebody and you haven't seen them, and then all of a sudden they say, oh, you changed my life, or, you did this for me. And I always say, well, yeah, I'm part of it, but it goes down to the spirit realms, and God. They're the one. I'm just the messenger.
Are there any other aspects of mediumship or the spirit world you'd like to
I've done a bit of everything in my career.
Yeah.
You know, I've cleansed houses, you know, with spirits that shouldn't be there.
Yes.
I've done all sorts of things, healing, you know.
You are a Reiki master.
Yeah.
So that originated from Japan.
Yeah.
And how did the training and the development go with that?
I've always been a spiritual healer. I've always had the gift. I've always felt heat coming out my hands.
Right.
And I didn't want to go down the S&U route because it would have took 3 years, you know, and I'm not academic at all. You know, I got a bit of dyslexia, you know, and ADHD and that, and I can't sit for hours on end doing studying and that. So I tried a different path, and which I relate to the Japanese, because apparently I was Chinese in a previous life.
Okay.
You know, and the Asian philosophies have always meant something to me. So I chose Reiki, and because I used to have a lot of pain in my body and that, because I used to do a lot of lifting through work. And I went along to a Reiki master, and they helped me. And it just blew my mind, you know, the power of the Reiki and that. And I thought, I want to learn that. So I learnt it. And I've helped people with the Reiki and that. And it's very powerful, but it's also, you have to counsel yourself to be a healer first before you actually put your hands on anybody, you know. So you go up different levels, and they show signs in the Reiki, being a Reiki master, and you have to learn these different symbols, not signs, symbols, and they give you time to learn these symbols. So you have a gap, you know, you might go one level, then have a gap for about 3 months. So, you know, the change can happen within yourself, like, because you can't heal people, you have to heal yourself first. Some Reiki doesn't mean anything, I don't feel, because some people can get a Reiki master's qualification in the weekend, you know, and what it used to be a year. You had to stay with a master in Japan for a year before you even did any healing. But you know yourself, society now, they want this quick fix, you know, to get a qualification. But I had to earn my qualification, and it was a very painful process.
Thank you very much for sharing with us your knowledge, experience, and thoughts.
Obviously, I can't tell you everything in this short interview because it just goes on and on, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right. We wish you well in your vital mission in the future.
As long as somebody watching this can take something from it, that's what I hope.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again, and we'll look forward to future news.
God bless, and
thank you.
Look after yourself.
Thank you.